is absolutely worth being excited about as well. MaNa in the bottom left in this Team Liquid showdown is a player who can bring a fight to Clem, and while I wouldn't say he's necessarily the favorite, he really has had some series against Clem I can think of in the last couple of months. So the last few times I cast them, at least. I don't know if that was a couple of months ago, a little bit longer now, but the last few times I cast him, I think back to matches where it was very back and forth. It was very exciting. It was very, very close between them. So kind of expecting this to be a good matchup as MaNa's bottom left. Of course, Clem is bottom right. We already saw MaNa versus Dark. That wasn't pretty. Hopefully when we get to Dark versus Clem, that one's not going to be quite the same sort of situation. Nice to avoid that if at all possible. But we will see as we get set up then. Blackburn for map number 1 of this 5-game series. Again, every map is played, every map is worth some prize money. Here in today's Olimoleague Invitational number, I want to say 11. I'm not very good at remembering which Olimoleague we're on at this point. Someone used the brag command recently, no. Oh, I have to tab out to find out, but I believe it's number 11. Does the number of it really matter to you guys? Right, you know, you're already here, you're already ready to go. I feel like you guys are going to be okay. I feel like you guys are going to be able to deal with it. There we go, it is number 11. Thank you for using the brag command. See? I do know what I'm talking about sometimes, guys. Right then, so, another map of MaNa versus Clem here as we get this ready to begin. When was the last time these two played? Actually a pretty cool question. MaNa, Clem. They last played on the 14th of February, which was a Open Cup. That was a 2-0 for Clem. Clem's actually won a lot of the last few series. Wow. The win streak for Clem is kind of crazy. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 match, 9 series in a row, sorry, for Clem. Yeah, I was thinking back, I guess, to... Wow, I don't even know what I was thinking back to. I feel like I've definitely seen MaNa put up some cool games against Clem, but now I look at the recent results and I almost feel stupid for saying it. Jeez. Well, maybe, Oh. I didn't think it was going to be like that one-sided. I thought at least there'd be some more map wins for MaNa, but there's like 2 map wins versus 20 or something. Oh, jeez. I was about to leave the stream if it wasn't number 11. Well, he doesn't even know what number Olimoleague it is. Unwatchable content. Can't watch the StarCraft 2 if we don't know what number event it's from. There's any impact on any thought on the patch updates to TvZ? Looks like Z is more nerfed than T in the matchup. Yeah, well, they've basically changed lurkers to not be as freaking ridiculously good. Lurkers are kind of insane where they can just sort of... I think that the problem with lurkers is that they just... The fact that they're a strong siege unit and they have so much mobility is kind of crazy. Like, there's almost no punishing lurkers. So yeah, I think it's just a little bit of an adjustment on the lurkers. I think a lot of people were upset maybe to not see a ghost nerf, but I think you've got to see how the lurker change goes first, because while ghosts can sometimes look very, very good, I feel like ghosts look very, very good in those games where... I feel like ghosts look very, very good in the games where the Terran does get off to a commanding start and the Terran does get very comfortable late game. And it gets to a point where they just stall the Zerg out. But I feel like that's not what the lurker... Or that's not the phase of the game the lurker game... Or the lurker change is aimed at. And I think it's... All the times ghosts look kind of insane. There are times where ghosts just look like they can't save the day from anything, basically. So, yeah. I'm a stupid Zerg that never uses lurkers? That's incredible. You are a man of honor, my friend. Ghosts should occasionally go rogue and start shooting your own units. That sounds like exactly what we need. Rogue ghosts. I thought when I first read this, I was like, go rogue? It's like, well, they do stealth up. I guess they just get a couple of daggers, they start stabbing people in the back. No, you meant, like, you know, go rogue, not play a rogue, like in WoW. Why are they nerfing drilling cores? I don't know, actually. I think just Widow Mine drops and mineral lines is a little bit nutty. I think it's just a good balance of, like, if you get caught off guard, you can't just insta-burrow your mines and basically just be safe. Same as with the lurkers. If the lurkers get caught off guard, you can't just insta-burrow them or you know what I mean? And it's just giving you a little bit more time to react. I think that's a good thing. It's just forcing the Terrans to maybe be a little bit more prepped every time. It's rough because sometimes I feel like you need drilling claws to be able to be okay in fights. Because the Zerg can come at you from all sides all of a sudden, and drilling claws really helps that. But drilling claws is kind of nutty when you just drop 4 murder mines into a mineral line and like half a second later they have blown up. The medevac enters and basically the first murder mine's already blowing up before it's out the medevac. It's kind of insane. Patch is live? No. Patch is alive on the PTR, but it's not live on the live service. It's not live. It's pre-live. It's pre-live. Non-stimming combat shields coming up here from Clem. We'll buy upgrades that we'll be able to get a lot done, I'm sure, as we have got the Marines and Marauders all continuing out for the moment, so getting all of that set up. Stalker's going to come in. They grab themselves a Widow Mine right away, so mine goes down pretty much immediately. And obviously just going to try and use these Stalkers to slow this pressure of his opponent down, try and stop Clem from coming across the map here if at all possible. The more you slow him down, the better a time you're going to have, put it that way. As these SCVs hanging out over on this third base. And now just going to blink on up. So this army is arriving from Clem very soon. Wouldn't mind drop over here, gets 5 workers. And obviously it's pulling units out of position. Oh no, those probes clumped up! They wanted to die. Well, now we drop into the main base. Stalker goes down. The few Zealots will begin to be targeted, and this looks problematic as the drop just gets into the main base. I mean, MaNa obviously just having to kind of shuffle around and deal with this pressure after the Widow Mines. And Clem used that to basically force his opponent a little bit out of position there. So, some good moves from Clem. MaNa definitely the one to start taking some damage here initially. Disruptor in charge all on the way out at the moment as we do have MaNa getting into all of his tech, extended thermal lance as well for the Colossus, so even a Dark Shrine. In a couple of minutes, MaNa's going to have a lot of really good stuff on the map. I am worried about those next 2 minutes where things aren't fully set up and MaNa hasn't fully got the momentum behind him and stuff. These are some of the scariest moments you'll have in StarCraft 2. So just a little concerned in him making sure that he's going to be okay here, but well, we'll see, I suppose. See if Clem can get that pressure or find the opportunity. Of course, right now it looks as though Clem might actually just be on his way to a, well, as you can see, he's got Disruptors building up, he's got that Dark Shrine coming through. So yeah, currently just on his way towards that. We'll drop a Nexus into the top left-hand corner as well. And hey, what's up, Narumi? Thank you so much for the 15-month resub on the Prime. Welcome back, as we do just have Clem spotting what's up. I mean, he's putting a lot of thought just into his tech at the moment. A lot of preparation on just getting those ghosts out and making sure he's going to have plenty of little bits and pieces to play with here. Yeah, it's the Bison Boy 6. Thank you so much for the Prime resub as well. Welcome back. Appreciate it. We are just lurking around the middle of the map, waiting for Clem's army to maybe decide to make something of a move. So just blink up to clean out the one Marine that was up over here. I'm just going to be having extra DTs coming out as well. I'm just going to be seeing our Vikings coming forward. Going to get the Observer to start. The Disruptor shot goes dead center. Clem! Oh, no response. And next Disruptor almost helped Clem out. MaNa was like, oh man, I feel bad about the first one. Let me just pull this one away and make sure it doesn't connect. SCV's going down at the same time as the DTs strike, and Clem takes a big Disruptor shot, now taking big damage to his economy. I mean, these are things which, this combination of things can definitely put you into a very, very strong position as MaNa, and he'll be very happy with these last few moments. That was absolutely what he was looking for as the Bio Army comes together. A few of those Zealots getting cleaned out. And these other Stalkers just moving around now as well. And we do have 1-1 upgrades are all on the way. Extra disruptors are all coming through. All of this just continuing up for the moment. Disruptor shots here, grabbing some ghosts. That little ghost splits forward, but in splitting forward, he put himself in danger, but it worked out. He stays alive, and he got to drop an EMP, so credit to that ghost. He did everything he needed to in that tough moment. We've got a couple more disruptors building. We have got the 1-1 upgrades coming up from MaNa. That's one thing he's missing. He's got a lot of the tech, but he decided to forego upgrades to basically get to all of this tech so quickly. So now, we'll see if that is negative for him at all. Great observer position, and allows him to make the blink onto these medevacs. Shut down a couple right away, but now these Stalkers are stuck, and he blinked back, but he can't blink across the rocks, and the Stalkers are going to get completely turned on, and they will all go down. Stalkers get wiped, and oh, this started. That was such a cool move from MaNa. It went so wrong so quick, and oh, no Stalkers, let me just kill your Colossus with my Vikings. Fortunately, that's the only Colossus, so it didn't really feel like it was super influential, and now you've got a lot of Vikings that maybe aren't great here for Clem. I guess we'll see if he can do something with it. I mean, obviously Vikings can still land in a fight, they can still maybe go harass a little bit. Clem is actually stuck here as well. He did lose all of his medevacs, so now his army can't get out, and now he's going to get cleaned up, so revenge for the Stalkers. They will get... Oh, MaNa will get some of his money back on the trade at least, and does finally get to clean on up, which means that now supplies actually come out to be fairly even across the board. 157 to the 151 at the moment. Okay, it's continuing up. A couple of disruptors continuing out right here. I'm just going to be seeing that factory hanging out on the bottom side to keep an eye on things to come through, and we take down a missile turret. Oh, MaNa's just going to bravely blink in. That's a huge blink, though, into the face of a lot of bio units that were just kind of sat there waiting to go. So, not sure how much I really love that one, as we're going to see another Liberator going down. Disruptor shots fire. They will not quite connect. And just going to be seeing these disruptor shots still going in right now, just making play after play. Definitely keeping the trades going and keeping Clem from being able to fully get, to a maxed out state or anything. So, MaNa doing what he needs to. It's been, I mean, it feels like he gets a really good fight, then he takes, those Stalkers keep on blinking in very dangerously. And the one problem I have with MaNa's army is, it is an army that absolutely gets overrun very quickly if you pick a bad fight. If your disruptors are too far forward and when they fire and stuff, that is obviously horrendous. It can all go wrong right there. So you need to make sure you're always fighting from the far, make sure you're properly set up and everything. Not easy, as the planetary fortress with the Liberators will hold on from behind the gold base, so that will be a defense there for Clem, not taking too much damage. Kind of the one with all the map control, though. He continues to move around, he's continuing to find different positions. Tough map to move in on, right? There's only so many ways you can move on, well, Blackburn. As he is trying to use these disruptors. Clem has a little bit of a flank, units from the natural and units from the top side. The disruptors are doing a good job of zoning Clem enough that he can't just go running in without really having a good thought behind what he's trying to get done. He wants to drive on the disruptors now. If he can find the disruptors and target them down, that's brilliant, but I feel like he's struggling to see them. There's just so many and they're mixed in with all the other units. I was struggling to figure out which disruptors were firing and which were not there, to be honest. So credit to Clem, who was also having, I think, similar difficulties. Stalkers blinking forward, going to go and get that medevac. A couple more EMPs going down. Stalkers hurting, disruptor shot fires, trying to land, doesn't quite make it. All these extra libs just coming out there, and Clem definitely wanting to try and shut down the game a little bit with these Liberators. Definitely part of his plan is Liberator shots going to fire on the Stalkers. Disruptor shots go through, not quite connecting on too much just yet. Another disruptor shot fires, and for the moment those units are able to back away and stay out of trouble. MaNa's army feels like it needs to progress. As Clem gets more ghosts, more Liberators, if MaNa's army stays the same, I don't think he can take later game fights. He gets to a point where his later game fights are going to be very one-sided and very much so just going against him. So I feel like that's something he needs to fix sooner rather than later. The longer he waits to fix that, the more issues I think he's going to end up having. The Braves are going to come in, and once again, I mean, how do you move into those libs? Like, yeah, you can force the bio back to the disruptors, but the Stalkers aren't even getting close to being able to jump onto those Liberators, right? And that's the issue. If the Stalkers can't get on top of the Liberators, what the hell can get on top of the Liberators? What is ever going to deal with those properly? Really not a lot, quite frankly. Really not a lot. This missile turret is burning, but not the end of the world if that goes down. That's very much so a missile turret that just wants to try and help spot DTs if they move in or so. If it falls, it falls. Like I say, it's not too detrimental to the overall setup, as we are going to see an EMP going down. Stalkers and Disruptors getting hit. I'm just going to see everything continue to move in here and going for a little bit of a push through. I mean, these are some clumped up units. I mean, from both sides. MaNa and Clem. Clem just lost a bunch of ghosts, and now he's trying to keep on splitting throughout this entire engagement. He's starting to get on top of Disruptors, and that's an issue, because now it feels like the Disruptors are not going to have a good time at all. Wow, that Disruptor shot was huge, because it saved 3 Disruptors recalling out. Otherwise, Clem could have maybe killed all of them. Unfortunately, there was Disruptors left that were not in the recall, and they all get taken down. And so Clem kind of, you know, gets through anyway and is able to get a lot done. Reset the Disruptor count is huge, but Clem not watching. He will kill this base, but he loses a lot of units in the process. It's an expensive one as the Disruptor gets picked off. Stalker still coming through. Continue to go in after the Marine Marauder here. And just going to be seeing our 3-3 upgrades still coming into play. Stalker Disruptor in production. Can MaNa keep on holding on? I think so. I mean, those Disruptor shots, some of them have just been really good. They've just struck exactly where he needed them to, and that's going to be what's kind of killed Clem here in the last little while. You know, there's just been a few little things that Clem could have done a little bit better. If he avoids those Disruptor shots, he would have so much more of a standing army still. I think that really makes a sizable difference a lot of the time as well. So, yeah, maybe Clem being a little bit haphazard and now trailing in supply because of it. Let's see if he can end up bouncing back. Problem is, MaNa's got 83 workers, so his work count is really, really good. He's got a lot of workers to play with, and that's really going to be a major help. This allows him to rebuild repeatedly, and Clem is just not in that same kind of position at all. And then now MaNa maybe just has enough running forward here. DTs are not being detected, so they are just getting to swipe up a storm. There's a couple of libs trying to siege are just not where they need to be at all. It does look like MaNa is going to have the first map after 20 minutes almost of gameplay. MaNa will come out with game 1 of this best of 5. Well, 5-game series. You guys know what I say. Now I'm just ping-ponging between all of that. Yeah. Do. Clem's bottom right, and he is down a map against MaNa, who is top left in this 5-game series. Part of the Olimoleague Invitational number 11. If you guys enjoying the games, check out the Olimoleague's Patreon, !Olimoleague in the chat. And you can find out more about Olimoleague and how to support on their Patreon page. This tournament does not happen without the wonderful people supporting on the Patreon year after year. The Olimoleague is one of the longest running StarCraft 2 tournaments at this point. So, to support it if you can, it really does go a long way. And it's really awesome to see Olimoleague getting the chance to continue producing great tournaments and just great stuff for us in general. So, hell yeah. Engineering Bay block on the natural to start out with as well. So just gets that started. And going to see another probe coming down. maybe make something happen too. Let's just have this SCV is low HP, so not a ton of HP on the engineering bay, but enough to be still annoying. SCV is still alive and is just about going to twirl its way out of there without being able to, without being killed. Now our Nexus will begin on this natural expansion, so gets that underway as well. And that's, I think, actually about it for the moment. So all that coming through. I'm just going to be seeing our assemblator coming up on the main base, the Adept Chrono boosting out as well. And a couple of Reapers will continue to also be in production right now. We continue to get this set on up. There's a couple of Reapers will be popping shortly. Should go a long way to putting some pressure on. Clem likes this double Reaper into 3 racks play, and then Reapers hit a bit of an off timing off the early reactor, and you just kind of get across the map, you do some damage, you try and throw the Protoss player off ahead of being able to then just run in with the entirety of your Bioforce, and if you've thrown the Protoss player off enough with the double Reaper, that can sometimes just win you the game. So let's see what these Reapers can do. They're going to be the most important part of the early game here. Let's see what we get. They swapped colors. Honestly, this is something else I never noticed, guys. Like, to me, if players swap colors, I very rarely pay attention. People are like, "What? They swap colors?" I'm like, did they? I don't know why. I guess that's just the way I look at the game slash, notice things. I don't notice if they swap colors. I'm not looking at if they're red or if they're blue. I'm looking at the fact that Terran or Protoss or they're MaNa and Clem, or you know what I mean? That's also an interesting one that I can understand a little bit in a mirror matchup. Very on a rare occasion in a mirror matchup, sometimes I have looked at it and been like, wait a sec, have I been casting this the wrong way around because the colors are different, but it doesn't happen a lot. You only notice if it's Serral? Why do you only notice if it's Serral? Reaper's going to get a probe kill in the back here, we're going to get a couple, so Reaper's doing what they can. They knew they were about to go down. We'll try for some information in the main. Not bad. Gets a full scout in. And that's obviously nice to have as well, just being able to see everything there. And just double check on stuff. Yeah, great scout. Great grenade as well. Hit the Stalker back to allow for that play to happen. If that Stalker doesn't get hit back, then obviously that's nowhere near as effective. So, then the Reapers probably die before they get all their scouting information. And then Clem just is a little bit less knowledgeable about exactly what the follow-up is. Some first Marines already moving over. I mean, Sim and Combat Shield not done yet, but already getting units across the map. MaNa's building a Prism and 2 more gateways. He's going to have 4 gates of Blink Stalkers. That generally spells trouble for units being across the map without any upgrades and stuff, but let's see what Clem does. I mean, to me, he's here too early, but then again, Blink ain't done yet, so maybe there's a chance he's going to start moving in. Starts to fight the first Stalkers. Combat Shields and Stim are on the way up. If you can get the pylon, I mean, the Prism does come out at least, so that's a good use for MaNa. If you don't have that Prism, then you lose a lot of what could have been micro potential. Stalker's already starting to lift up here. Clem now has the Stim, and he's going to go for probes. Man, this works out beautifully, doesn't it? He scans high ground for the vision. He's chasing the Prism, gets it. He'll get these Stalkers. While that maybe doesn't end the game, it does a lot of good trading for Clem, a lot of good damage. And now MaNa's going to have more warp-ins to help clean this out, and it's just, I mean, all of MaNa's aggression now is going to be put on hold because he doesn't have power to his robust, he can't get a new Prism up, so he just can't get across the map with anything extra. GG's, and Clem is going to take game 2 nice and easily. It was just nice crisp play from Clem. It was nicely handled. As you have in the bottom left side of Hardwire, how Blue Protoss player is going to be MaNa. With all the murs. As in the top right side, our Red Terran player is going to be Clem. Sounds like a chicken. So we got Dark, the Duck. And we got Plucky Chicken Clem. Brilliant. Dark's won 15 out of the 16 past maps versus Clem. Yeah, Clem, I feel like, got a bit of a mental block going for himself in against some of the Korean Zerg players. There was just that breaking point. Like, they played that crazy series in TSL, right? That 2-4, and that was ridiculous. And that was in like June of last year. And it's kind of crazy. They'd never played each other until last year, and Clem won the first map in the World Team League, and that was like really cool and hype, and it was a really cool game. But then, since then, Dark has just been dominant against Clem and just saying, no, your style does not work against me. And for the most part, it really does not. Yeah, Clem, this doesn't look good when he plays against Dark, honestly. Like, it feels like that first series they played, and I know this is dumb because it is like one series, but it feels like that one series zapped everything Clem had to throw against Dark, and since then he's just kind of been a little bit low on steam. And when he wins or something, it's like he won in the Korea versus Europe Olimoleague, and that was cool, don't get me wrong, but that's also like a... Well, that's cool. That also feels very much so like a... you know, that was like a 1-0, map, and it feels like that's where Clem is okay against Dark. He can take a map here, but, yeah. And in the series, it seems like he just gets kind of walloped. Clem is high ground expanding, by the way. And just playing it safe here early. Comes back around, Adept comes through, is able to grab that, take it down already. I'm just gonna see Iraq's gonna fly back over here. Just gonna move into the basin. Yeah, everything's just pretty comfortable at the moment as we get settled down into this game number 3. Hardwire, fairly large map. We're expecting probably some more macro kind of focused play here in general. Definitely not the map where games end early most of the time, so... Oracle on the way up from MaNa as we do see Clem gets this Widowmine burrowed against the Adept, and the Adept does beautifully shade trick it, so that will be a dead Widowmine. Very nicely done. That Adept shade was at a perfect time. Like I say, very well handled by MaNa. When Clem gets the CC into position after building it high ground, he'll finally get it low ground and start to mine from it, so that'll be his next few moments set into motion. But mine at the front there just went off on... Was that the Adept that actually died this time? I think it might have been. It was just off to the top side of our screens. Oracle comes in, does a little bit of zipping and zapping. It's turned around in the end, drops a Revelation to try and help out a little bit at least. Try and show a little bit of info, if nothing more. There's a little Revelation going down. Viking is there to turn this away as well, though, and just going to see still a little bit of continued back and forth here between the two. A lot of gates coming in from MaNa as he powers up into Phoenix production. He's also getting that charge. Gonna play that kind of Phoenix charge combo is always actually really scary. I always thought Phoenix charge was one of the scarier things you can play against as a Terran player, because it really takes away a lot of your aggressive openings. You know, exactly how Clem likes to play, right? It takes away Clem's chance to get up in your face, be kind of aggressive, because you just get overrun by the sheer number of Zealots. So if that's the case... yeah, then Clem can't be as aggressive, and he's forced into a longer game, and I like that part of this for MaNa at least. Let's see if he can indeed take advantage of it. Ooh. Widowmine grabs the Oracle there. Nice to have the Revelation that drops down. And the Widowmine is just going to pull back towards the natural now. And yeah, go from there. Cyclone pulling back a little bit. Our Bioforce will start to head out to the center. Away we go. A bit of a push forward here as a couple of Marines get in range, and they do take down that Adept, so Adept will fall, and nice little pick off initially. Next up is going to be this, well, fight. I mean, this is where MaNa has all these Zealots, and like I say, he can very easily overrun the Terran player in this scenario, and that's kind of what started to happen. Now Clem is trying to unload his medevac, but he loses about 5 Marines as the medevac dies, so... Yeah, Clem, this is what I mean. This is why it's frustrating to play against Phoenix-Zealot for him, because he likes to be aggressive, he likes to be in his opponent's face, but then he gets shut down by this Phoenix-Zealot style. And now Clem in a little bit of trouble. The Phoenix, not really enough energy, I think, to lift the tech units he would like to lift here to really take that away from, you know, to really kind of set up against his opponent and to make something happen. Let's go see our Lions are still rallying out, and a Robo Bay building up on the high ground as well. A couple extra forges coming through. Yeah, a couple extra forges into that Robo Bay. Robo facility about to finish up also. Just seeing a few different things thrown together from MaNa, basically saying, right, you know, my Phoenix-Zealot has done my initial job. I pushed him back, I scared him, I got a good trade. Time for me to now start getting the rest of the game put together, right? I can't just win this off pure Phoenix-Zealot. The more and more bio units they get out, the less effective that composition is. So it's time for me to have A, upgrades, and B, splash damage. So, MaNa establishing that right now, and yeah, gonna give himself a chance to defend any future attacks from Clem with even better tech. This is a big attack right now from Clem as he moves forward. His army supply is actually way up on that of MaNa's. Actually kind of surprised. Feels like MaNa didn't lose anything too much this game, but his MaNa maybe just building too much tech all at once. I don't doubt that he needs it at some stage, but I guess there may have been, just like I say, a little bit too much at once, and right now, this still is Zealot Phoenix against what is actually a good clump of units. The Widow Mine farm is obviously pretty huge as well. There's a lot of mines here. And you're going to have to really be careful against those, because they can, you know, turn your life into a misery if you're not careful. That's going to be seeing the back and forth continuing in the Colossus. There goes a little bit of damage, a couple of Viking shots continuing off. Widow Mines will unburrow and pull back now. The one landing on a Phoenix. A few Zealots go in. Cyclone with a lock on just to help any way it can. Not the most useful of additions, but it's definitely something. Well, that was scary for MaNa. I really thought he was going to be in some trouble there, but he's actually able to put it into a pretty reasonable position. I don't want to say it was undefendable, but it really looked scary. And now he's obviously going to benefit from having invested into those upgrades, which are now finishing. The Colossus are out. So he really got past a very scary little hump in the road, basically. He could have fallen over there. He could have died, but now, a good spot. Clement's actually down a lot of workers as well. 14 workers in the game. And the army supply is starting to even up too. Of course, Clem is getting his own tech out. Vikings are coming up. He's invested into an armory for further upgrades. He's got Ghost Academy already finished, so he is investing into his own future. This may very well just become a bit of a later game duel between the two of them. We will see exactly what it looks like very shortly, as we do have the Zealots starting to press forward. Archons and Colossi coming through as well. It's going to go back and forth a little bit. Colossus continue to take a little bit more damage. Widow Mines went off, and just going to be having this army of MaNa back down to the bottom left-hand side. A couple of disruptors still in production as well, so continue to bring that out. And again, alongside with our 2-2 upgrades. MaNa just gets everything he wants. And again, we already saw one game today where MaNa got everything he wanted. That was the first map, and once he got there, Clem was not really able to take the fights he felt like he needed, I would imagine. You know, fight after fight just felt like it was a little bit of a flop for Clem at that stage. So, yeah, mostly due to the disruptors. The disruptors were really good as the Prism gets caught on the way into the main base. Oh, it just sneaks by, and we'll get a huge warp-in off. That's obviously a big deal. Gonna put a massive dampener on Just Clem's economy, I mean, it's actually not doing as much as I thought. Only 3 SCVs. Wow, we recall out of there. That felt like it should have been so much more considering the amount of zealots that just got to go. I thought that was going to be a completely different situation, but not the case. One zealot kind of got left behind. What's cool is he got rid of the missile turret, so maybe if Clem doesn't replace that, that Prism can find another entrance to the base. Clem's pushing with the main army, though. He wants to go, go, go. We're both maxed out. Upgrade lead, by the way, in favor of MaNa. He now has 2-2s. Clem never really started his 2-2, despite that armory being added a minute or so back when I mentioned it. So it was natural that MaNa was going to get faster 2-2 because Clem really delayed his 2-2 to get Ghost and Viking production underway. But kind of surprised that Clem's 2-2 is this late at this point now, as Disruptor Shot fires through but does not connect. Another Disruptor Shot for the couple of Widow Mines. That one does connect. Clem's positioning is nice. Obviously, he's very clumped up, though, so he can't just stand and fight against the Colossus fire. Trying to use these Vikings effectively, and looks like he will get at least one Colossus here. That, oh, Colossus is so low, but the Vikings backed up. Lost a few Vikings as it happened, which felt like it hurt more than anything else. Uh-oh, well, maybe some opportunity then from MaNa, because I feel like now Clem doesn't have the Viking count he needs to deal with these Colossus as they get some shields back. We'll drop a couple of EMPs down. They don't have the Colossus, though. The Colossus will continue to regenerate. And now SCV is going down across the map again as MaNa is back into the face of his opponent with DTs this time, not Zealots. Those DTs going to try and find the corner. Oh, the scan expires, so that works as well. Knocking down this set of rocks, and the CC going to lift up and will also be able to go elsewhere now. Couple Disruptor Shots flying through. Bio Army going to get struck. Another Disruptor Shot up the ramp gets a Ghost. And MaNa now is going to back it up. I think it's going to be the end of the Colossus here. Now, a couple of these Disruptors being very far forward. Can this Colossus go down? Yes, a couple of Vikings will chase and kill. MaNa continue to fall back with mostly Stalker Disruptor at this point, so he's basically falling back into the Disruptors every time. And really relying on those to deal some decent damage. Clem walks too far forward, and now Clem is actually going to get jumped on. MaNa is able to start clearing out a whole bunch. And being another action-packed game, like I said, I thought these two were going to give us a good series. And MaNa definitely stepping up to the plate so far as we get rid of another Liberator. And I mean, every lib that goes down feels like it definitely just improves your position in this game. Every Liberator that dies is so much less tech that Clem really is probably reliant on as the game goes through. But I mean, Clem will also think the same about killing off Disruptors as he gets a couple there. Oh no, these ones are caught as well. MaNa, oh, being chased big time. SCVs are going to try and repair this Planetary Fortress. I think it might stay alive. The Planetary is killing the DTs, and it is going to survive. A save on a Planetary from Clem against DT Zealot. And that's expensive for MaNa too in this game. Might just swing back towards Clem a little bit here, because the last couple moments Clem got a lot of kills. He was able to survive an onslaught of an attack, so he keeps his economy alive while dealing damage and obviously killing off all those DTs and Zealots. Wow, great couple moments for Clem. He's going to chase these Stalkers into that bottom right corner. MP going down. I think mostly wanting to try and reach the Phoenix with that, but Phoenix are kind of out of there already. The Medivacs aside, they're going to leave as well while they can. And just leave the bio units to trade out with whatever they can. Is fun. He's going to get rid of another Disruptor. This Disruptor, this other one to the left side, if Clem was still paying attention, might have been dead as well. I think Clem kind of gave up on these units a while ago and just leaves them. But, I mean, they actually ended up doing a lot more than I think Clem would have ever really imagined they would. Jeez. Oh, that was kind of crazy. You see Ghosts and Marines coming through once again. Also going to be seeing Medivacs continue to get shot down at the moment by these Stalkers, putting in a good little bit of a fight at the moment. So the Stalkers are doing a good job. And the Bioforce doing enough, as Clem just has a lot of army supply in comparison to MaNa, though I think Clem might have actually done this. Pretty ridiculous back and forth game here on Hardwire is looking as though it really is going to end in Clem's favor. I mean, now he just has a substantial army lead. Jumps on the Disruptors, that's always a bad sign, right? When you... Oh, that Disruptor went off, though. I'm going to say always a bad sign when you're losing your Disruptors before you can make use of them, but that was probably one of the better Disruptor shots you could get, so Got a lot of ghosts, but now the Stalkers are kind of derping out into the army as well. That ain't pretty. Yeah, this game is just wild, quite frankly. Another shield battery goes down. We're going to chase the Disruptors. Clem knows that he's got a timing here to maybe take advantage of the Disruptors. And a couple libs coming in. There's not an army to deal with the Liberator count. That's a big issue. I don't think this is going to get anything done now from MaNa. Having to fight through the libs. He can probably get rid of the libs, but he'll lose a lot in the process, and probably too much considering the supply difference in the game. Another Liberator sieging up, powering up this one position that does just seem to be oh so powerful at the moment. I like it, even turn one of the libs around just in case, cover the back a little bit. Try and find some value at least, even if the flank does go off. Disruptor shot forces the split. I mean, that's what Disruptors are great at, but there's just nothing to continue through with. And Clem, for a moment, it seems as though he thought he could actually just continue to dive in. He wants to get these Disruptors. His units are low HP as well, by the way. He drops an EMP, he'll get rid of the Colossus just ASAP. That is going to be the job done, guys, and that is going to be Clem taking game number 3. He gets it done on Hardwire and takes the lead in this series. Another big map as well. And as we get this underway, in the bottom left-hand side, the Red Terran player from Team Liquid is Clem. Up against the Blue Protoss top right-hand side now, trailing in the matchup, it is MaNa. Let's see what happens. That's been a fun set of games between Clem and MaNa so far. It's been enjoyable, to say the least. A really fun match between the two. As that probe just goes scouting a little bit initially, and SCV is going to come over here. So probe sees the SCV coming in. Obviously just going to have our probes nibbling up on the engineering bay, trying to slow this down a little bit. And obviously would like to stop this engineering bay from coming through. And you basically get to see this real nice and quickly, so you can see that quickly with the probe being out the front is a big deal, because then you can just respond really quickly. And you can obviously just go from there, so that's generally a nice little positive. Probe back up to the top side. Let me just go back and forth for the moment, waiting for something extra. Adept's going to shade out, another Adept going to Chrono Boost along. Factory finishes up, CC is on the way. And just going to be seeing reactor still coming through then, so I'm getting a little bit of build up, a little bit of getting everything going here in game number 4. MaNa going to opt for the Stargate is going to be something which he's obviously lent on a lot in this series. In that last game, I do feel like the initial Phoenix-Zealot gave him a good start. It gave him a jump on Clem's army. Put him into a decent position. And at the very least, gave him some opportunities, so. SCV's mining away. Getting going for the moment. Is just going to see our CC going to lift off. Going to go down toward the natural expansion. it's going to come in over here. Twilight Council is still a building. Gateway is about halfway done. And these Marines will grab an Adept out in the corner. It's just going to be doing well with that pretty much from the start. Yeah, Twilight Council is about to finish, and these couple of SCVs will just get down into the natural, but we do have a first little push across the map. A Widow Mine drop, plus the Marines initially going to be coming over and trying to make something of a difference. The Oracle comes in, zapping down a few of these SCVs. So a few SCVs start to take some damage as well. As the Oracle comes back in to try and get a little bit more done. So good amount of workers, honestly, so far, having a little bit of trouble. Marines straight across the map. I mean, I don't know what MaNa's got here. I feel like, yeah, wouldn't mind if they just cover the ramp are going to make this very concerning. I mean, what do you do? Oh, no high ground vision means that this Widow Mine doesn't actually get to fire there. The battery on the low ground is dying, and, well, Clem's attack is going to have MaNa completely caught off guard. MaNa is not really ready to do anything at the moment. This pylon's going to go down. The other pylon's going to go down. Oh, man, I think Clem might just win this map number 4 right here. Marine's going to go back onto the Nexus, and it kind of does. I mean, this does just look like it's over, no? No, well, maybe not over, but like a severe lead for Clem. Widow Mines are coming back off cooldown, so they're going to get to go again themselves. That's obviously very good news. Clem just killer mode right now. Adepts threatening the shade in on top of those Marines, but with so many mines there, it would actually be a disaster. There's 3 Widow Mines there. That just does not go well for you in the slightest, as the Phoenix is going to fly in now, going to try and friendly fire, and, well, Clem's lift up was really good, so the friendly fire did not go off, and now he just has so many Marines here. It really is difficult to imagine that this is going to go any other way than MaNa having to leave this game. GG's, and Clem takes the 3-1 victory. We will still play map 5, though. All maps are played in this series. As let's dive into map number 5. Last map of these two playing against each other is in the bottom left-hand corner. The red Protoss player from Team Liquid is MaNa. Up against the top right blue Terran player from Team Liquid, we do have Clem. Alright then, map number 4, and we are going to begin with the Proxy in the middle of the map. So, I'm already starting up with a little bit of aggression right now. When will the Cast of Civil War be? It will be, Cast of Civil War will be in April, so not far away at all. It's going to happen real soon. Which is really exciting. Probe comes in, nibbling the SCV, another SCV coming back, and just going to be having a couple of gateways from MaNa, as we obviously have one in the middle of the map, so looking to just get off to a quick, aggressive start and hoping that will give them enough to then come through and win out this map. At least, obviously, every map is worth some prize money today, so even winning this map is $60 basically, so for MaNa, absolutely worth it to try and get a little bit more cash in his pocket. The draft will be epic. Will it be streamed? Yes, we are going to stream the draft. We're hopefully going to make the draft happen live. That's what some people were asking for, so we're going to try and make it happen. Probe hides out to the far right side. I wonder if he's going to try and proxy up something else in the next few moments and maybe follow up into like a Stargate behind this initial pressure. It's definitely possible. I feel like you may as well have just put the Stargate in the center of the map, though, right? Just as close as possible. Anyway, it's not too crazy as we do just have the Zealot being pushed back. So a few Marines getting in there. Zealot gets turned away. Only for a few moments. The Zealot and Stalker now coming in together. And Clem building a tech lab on the factory. That's going to be the first real point of defense against this. Until then, he really is just having Marines which are doing their best, don't get me wrong, but there's a limit to what these Marines can do as well. And we're definitely starting to see a little bit of that right now as those Marines just try to push the units back and just trying to keep them away as best they can. This isn't, it ain't super easy, that's all. We do have the another extra gates coming up, so it's just going to be a 4-gate with a Robo for Prism. There's MaNa. Trying to still push up this ramp. A couple of units still just trying to fight, and a few Marines going down at the moment, so damage continuing to be done. I'm actually a little bit worried for Clem, because he loses Marines. He's going to have just kind of be missing a lot of what he maybe needs to follow up with in terms of just raw firepower, but he is actually going to be able to get rid of that Stalker, and he's going to get rid of a couple of Adepts as well, so clearing that out. Making a decent job of it, so that definitely helps as well. As we just have ourselves the Gateway Prism, all the good stuff on the way up right now. Now Prism actually pops out over here and is going to start making a little bit of a move, perhaps. Orbital Command morphing into the main base. A couple of racks coming up, a couple of Stalkers coming in. Here goes the Stalkers into the main. Let's see if MaNa can make enough happen. He's obviously very committed with this. He really needs to do a good amount of damage. The first Cyclone took a few shots before it was able to start moving back, and that is obviously a little bit scary. The Cyclones continue to lock on. The Stalkers having to lift back up and drop back down. Extra Stalkers warping in on the bottom side. These Cyclones coming through. They're going to lock onto the Warp Prism, and the Warp Prism is going to go down, so the Prism will fall. Big pick off right there. Is just going to be seeing these SCVs pulled in to try and fight against those Stalkers as well. Stalkers honestly taking a lot of damage at the moment. Marauder is here going to try and put a block on those Stalkers too. As the Stalkers still taking hits. Cyclone and the Marauder and the Marines are able to come through, clean that out. The last couple of Stalkers are going to go down. And that is going to be a defense from Clem. He loses 13 workers, though. So MaNa's going to go one more time, because at the moment he says, well, yeah, I mean, you've lost a bunch of workers, but I guess? Yeah, I mean, you've lost a bunch of workers, but honestly, you kind of look at this and you say, well, yeah, maybe I can just go again because you don't have that much economy now. Maybe you can't build up enough units this time. He loses the Cyclone right away, going for the Marauder. Prism has that micro potential, which is obviously very difficult to deal with from Clem's side. Prism starts to be targeted. I think the Prism's going to die, but I mean, the couple of Zealots got warped in will make the difference. I think it's worth keeping the Prism there to get the Zealot warping at least. I'm not sure if he could have moved it sooner, but that's going to be it. That's going to do it. MaNa will take another map. Will get some extra prize money for himself today. And while he does lose the series, he is at least going to be able to walk away with, I believe, about 160. Sorry, let's do the math properly. About $150 overall for today's Olimoleague. So hell yeah to MaNa. Well played.